All right, here we are with Let's Talk About It, episode 2. This episode's going to go all over the place, and it's even so exciting and so important that I'm going to put in my bottom teeth for it. You see, it's sort of funny that, for a couple of years of my life, I was afraid to tell anybody that, my teeth are a replica of what they used to be, but I have fake teeth, and I would be afraid to tell people that, but why? Things happen. People lose their teeth. And I was worried that people are going to be like, he's a gross person, or he's yucky because he has no teeth. And I thought about it, and I'm like, I have no ego anymore, so now it was no big deal. I mean, if you want to see me take my teeth out, I have no problem with it. It just sounds better. And I mean, this isn't about me. This is about the fact that if I cared what people thought about me as a person, I wouldn't say half this stuff. And I was debating on whether I should do a Let's Talk About It episode with what I'm going to say here. Because videos up to come are going to be explaining the alphabet and numbers, letters, symbols, colors, sounds, shapes, vibrations, light particles, molecules, stuff like that. Everything that we've ever learned about. And it's very brave and very bold, and some people would say idiotic for somebody to say that they remember creating them. And I would have thought the same thing. Dan would have thought the same thing. And I don't mean to keep talking about myself as another person, but this is Let's Talk About It episode 2. And we've got a bunch of fly friends here, so don't mind seeing me wipe my head a bunch of times, because it's a bunch of flies landing on me. And I love the flies. See, they're little creatures and they can't really help what they're doing. They're just here to live, Time flies when you're having fun. So basically they're just fun. They get to go around doing whatever. I'd love to be a fly. Have been. It's pretty cool. So, let's talk about it. When it comes to the alphabet and why I need to talk about it, because we're taught certain things in school. And we all know that school itself, even teachers, aren't allowed to teach their own way. I mean, they can, have their own style within the given, curriculum that they're made teach. Come on, Mr. Fly, don't bite me now. But this stuff is so deep that there's really no words for me to try to start saying why I need to explain the alphabet and symbols all over again. So when I jump into it, and when I start doing it, I don't want anyone to look at me and be like, who's this moron? But I know they will, because they all think they understand what the alphabet means and the numbers and the letters. Come on, horsefly. Maybe they won't puff. See, I make sure that on these videos I don't show any weed, because I'm not trying to get anybody, I don't think it's cool. But at the same time, I'm not going to hide who I am. Like, I'm not going to hide the personality. There's nothing wrong with this. Okay, if you go through your life, do you know what being a conscious spiritual being really consists of? It's pretty simple. You make sure that all your actions and your words don't infringe on somebody else's free will. It's my duty now. It's my responsibility to tell people the truth. If people can't see what some of the stuff I'm talking about really is, then it's just because they're choosing not to look. They're choosing not to listen. And they have the ability to do that. I wouldn't say right, they're just choosing to. I mean, it's not right to do that, so it's not the right to do it. They have the choice and they have the free will. Free will isn't right. The word right is just a word, and I'll explain that through letters, what the word right really means. And people will be like, I know what right means. But that's why I'm saying these words that we've always learned, when you see what I'm saying, they actually apply to everything. Every word, every number, every person, every place, everything you've ever heard of or not heard of, even you and all your family members and anything you've ever known, it will apply to that. And it's not because I want it to. It happened. It revealed itself to me because I opened my heart. I didn't do any of this, the new age stuff that's going on, like sitting there humming and all that kind of stuff. After it happened to me, I looked into all the things that people do, and I'm like, boy, they're all, they're trying, and I give everybody credit that's looking to get more spiritual, open themselves up, but most people get stuck on some ego factor, they end up, I don't know how to put this into words, but they get into something, they learn a teaching from a certain aspect of everything's true in its own way, or has its own bits of truth, or has its own bits of history, of course. But usually they'll get involved in something and say, the India, over in India, they do it the right way, or this religion does it the right way, or forget all religions, and let's be like people who rebel and fight back and say freedom is, we're gonna fight. That's not gonna do it either. There's a really a balance between all things. Imposing on someone's free will, even though other people are doing it to you and always have been. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense to all of a sudden hop up and start trying to be a badass now to the people who've held you down, because unconsciously you've allowed people to hold you down your whole life, but you've been doing it since you were so young you didn't know. And now that you could know, what can you do about it? Because there's people saying that it makes sense that these people tell us what to do, and it doesn't. If somebody imposes on your free will, that means, hey, you have to do this or else something will happen to you, and these people are at fault of what's going to happen to you, or these people are going to be responsible, or these people have the authority to do these things to you against your free will, because you're not doing something that somebody else agreed upon. Money, all those kind of things, people agreed on those before anybody had the chance, before any of us were alive. So for us to say, well, we have to, is not free will. That's not freedom. So if anyone doesn't get that, they're just being stubborn. I mean, honestly, obviously. So free will means I make my decision. You don't tell me. But that doesn't mean be a bum. I mean, people have the right to be a bum, and that's why if we didn't have some kind of order or some kind of rule, some kind of something, people would all sit around and do nothing with themselves. And I understand why people wanted to get people to do something, but once people got power, they really took advantage of it. And now that other people are starting to see ways to make millions of dollars, they're looking past the fact that other people out there are being taken advantage of. They're like, I'm making millions of dollars doing this program on the internet based off of, maybe cell phones or some kind of, new trend. And that's just for a moment. That's feeding your ego and making you feel like you have a status that's worthy of something. And you're worthy of something without status, without the paper, without the people telling you that you had to do that. Way back before all that stuff, you were just a being that was alive. And even your parents had to work and had to do that. Doesn't mean that that's right that they had to. And it sucks that they're all older now, or maybe your people have passed away in this life. And it's unfortunate that they didn't get to experience true freedom, because now is the time that we do it. Nothing against people in the government that are working there, especially if they have a good heart and they tried to do it because they wanted to change the world and make it better. But when you start seeing what's going on, they're just afraid to get out of it, because how are you going to get out of something that took you so long to get into when you see that it's crooked? You go, oh, I'm making the money that I need to, and I got to worry about me and my family. I know, I've been there. So what we need to do is swallow all that, stop worrying about money. And no, I didn't stomp anything. It was on my shoe, and I wanted to knock it off without, flicking it or something. So I don't kill anything, never kill anything. And I have much patience with bugs. I got distracted by these bugs, I know. But I have much patience with bugs and animals because they don't know any better, man. When people know better, they should not be doing half the stuff they're doing, honestly. Is that wrong? I don't think so. We know people shouldn't be doing half the stuff they're doing. And here's another thing I want to say during this talk. Take a walk down an aisle of a Walmart, Dollar General, or any near store in your area, and look at how many items there are that nobody needs. And then you could say, yeah, but we have the right to have anything, and we have the right to da-da-da-da. If it's destroying the earth, or just being wasteful, or everyone's using it because it's a trendy thing and it's just a waste, we have to start saying, this makes no sense. We're just pumping money out so people can make big dollars. And big dollars mean nothing. Like the whole saying of you can't take anything with you, nobody seems to think that means anything, but it means a lot. You can't take anything with you. The paper that you're walking around with, you're really not doing anything with it. We've just been so hypnotized that we think paper means something. And that's because deep down, on a very deep basis, there is plants are our plant cesters. We are, first of all, before we formed into these magnificent beings, we are plant. We are more plant than anything. Definitely. But we're plant and spirit, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. That's going to be just about enough for Toke About It too, because it's already at 10 minutes and I got to edit a few things out of here. No, I'm not going to edit it because what's the point? I just want to be myself with everybody. Because what else can I do? If I took the time to try to worry about building an ego and appealing to people, the message would be lost. So I'm going to do the best I can as the person that I am to tell the complete truth. And if people don't want to listen, that's up to them, you know. And I love them for what they are, not who they're being, and for who they are deep down. So, and I'm not trying to have any catchphrases or any popular sayings, but I'm sure I will because repetition helps people learn. And I'm just here to help people learn the truth because it happened to me. And it would be, you know, it would be, what's the word I'm looking for? It would be asinine, rude, and just totally despicable of me as a human being not to share what I have realized and what I've experienced with everybody, everyone that's alive. And if you're alive and you have something inside you that's kicking and living and breathing, like, and you're not a robot, then this does apply to you. So I'll be doing the alphabet soon, starting with the letters, and then we'll move on to everything else. So until next time, toke on. Peace.